Hello everyone. So today I'm back in the blue room and we're going to talk about something scary. Today we're going to talk about ERP. And of course, part of almost every project we do, an ERP integration to the PIM. And I think the reason why it sounds scary for most people is due to maybe some trauma from ERP migrations. We all know those can be a bit of a nightmare, changing basically the backbone of the company in a way. But the integration ERP to PIM, and especially to Bluestone PIM, is seldom, or I would say never, traumatic. All those cases can be covered easily with Bluestone PIM in terms of connecting with the APIs from basically any ERP that you might have. And the reason why it's easy is because of our API first approach, right? So you have access to any functionality when it comes to, of course, creating products, updating products, but also all the webhooks when it comes to listening for changes if you need to write something back to the ERP. In this case, I'm connected to an instance of SAP, and we can kind of have an overview here. This is just connected to a Lambda that is doing a bit of logic when it comes to checking for delta changes from the ERP. So what I can do here from the dashboard of Bluestone PIM is that I can basically reach in to my ERP in a sense via that middle layer and see, are there any updates to the products I'm maintaining in the PIM? And in this case, we can see that, yeah, we have 3 new products and 17 updated products, so updates to existing products. And in this case, I have it set up so that it automatically makes the update via the APIs into Bluestone PIM, and we have this UI to visualize it. Now we have 3 new products created, we have 17 updated, and so what actually happened now? Well, in this case, we demanded the latest data. This is different how you want to set it up, right? Maybe you're doing it in batch on a schedule automatically, or you have webhooks that you're listening to from the ERP. So whenever a change is made, you replicate that in the PIM immediately. And that middle layer, if we take a look at how that usually looks here, that's the middle layer I'm talking about. It can be whatever we use in there in between for some logic, but usually it has some mapping, right? So this field in the ERP, the EAN field, maps to this attribute in the PIM. And then we go to the PIM with that. And then sometimes, as I mentioned, we go back again with some data, mapping it on the way back and updating the ERP. We also have the case where PIM is the source. We create products in the PIM and then sync it to ERP. Let's look now in Bluestone how the setup of the attributes look, right? So I'm going to go in here to attributes, and let's look, for example, at the EAN attribute that we have set up here in our data model. And what we can do in Bluestone is that we can say that the source of this is an external system. It makes it read-only. So the ERP is the master of the EAN. And we have more, of course, more settings here. But for now, let's go with that. So what we need to do now in that middle layer is just map so that we make sure that the EAN from the ERP is written to the EAN field here in the PIM. And as I said, you have that logic also. Do I need to create this product, right? Or will I just update it? And that's something that we then use the APIs for typically. So let's have a look here. This is our public API documentation. And when it comes to, for example, then creating the product. So this is after the middle layer has done the job of looking at the product and saying, should be a new product in the PIM. This doesn't exist, right? And then we have the case where this product already exists in the PIM. And the way we know that is because we have some unique identifier that we maintain both in the PIM, but also in the ERP. It could be some system ID from the ERP that we write over in Bluestone, what we call the number field, which is unique. And then if we see that this product already exists, or maybe we already maintain this in the middle layer itself, so we don't even have to take that trip to the PIM to check if the product exists, then we instead go and update that product. And we just need to find the relevant endpoints to do that with the APIs. And that's basically it when it comes to a simple setup. Right now we have way more complex logic as well sometimes here in the middle layer. And that is handled as well, but it would take a longer video. But I think in general, we don't have to be afraid of the ERP integration. And also Bluestone PIM is connected to virtually any ERP you can think of. If we talk about the more common ones, right? Amongst all the customers we have seen most systems and most ERPs that you can think of, and the patterns are usually similar. Sometimes it's more kind of a legacy ERP, and we work with flat files, right? It still happens, and we consume something, but the input into the PIM is still via APIs. Whereas with newer systems, we do API to API with the middle layer in between, and then it's either reacting to an event with a webhook, for example, or sometimes it's on a schedule, so batch. And this is something that usually our very competent partners set up, the implementation partners, right? And they will help you to connect your ERP, map out the data you need to send over to the PIM, and then execute. One more thing we can look at in the PIM is the setup of webhooks. So let's say we want to go the other way. We have some updates in PIM and we want to write them to the ERP. We have the native webhook setup here in the UI of Bluestone PIM, and we can, for example, listen to new product created. This would be relevant if we have reversed the flow. So the PIM is the source of product creation, and we need to replicate that in the ERP. Then we can listen to this event here. It could also be some specific updates that we want to replicate, right? So all of that is available here to listen to. Get in touch with us if you want to see more and talk about how your specific ERP can connect with Bluestone. And if you want to see other things from the system, let us know and we will set up a demo.